Good evening, I'm Norman Robinson, and welcome to Affordable Housing Matters. On tonight's show, we will visit with a representative from the Neighborhood Housing Services of New Orleans and find out what they're doing to help people find affordable housing. And with that in mind, also on tonight's show, we will find out how you can be sold on St. Bernard Parish. We have valuable information coming your way, so please stay tuned.
Saturdays at 4:30 p.m. on WLAE.
The Neighborhood Housing Services of New Orleans' mission is to create and sustain healthy and vibrant neighborhoods through real estate development, education, and community activities. Joining me now to further explain their program is Ms. Amy Batiste, CEO of the Neighborhood Housing Services of New Orleans. Welcome, Ms. Batiste.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Well, you're welcome, and I'm glad to have you here. You know, this is one of my most exciting projects, affordable housing.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, there are so many needy people out there.
Right.
And they are always asking about affordable housing. And when we get people in here to talk about affordable housing, their ears are wide open.
Well, that's
so
good.
Their ears are wide open now. The floor is yours. Tell us about your program.
Thank you. So NHS has been around for over 40 years. We focus on a few things. First-time home buyers being one of our major things that we've been known for many years. Helping people understand the home buying process, getting them mortgage ready, helping them understand what the lender does. And we do this in a variety of ways. We have homebuyer education classes, which now we've introduced a digital version. So we have a class that you can attend in our offices or in our classroom. But if you're busy, like a lot of our people now are busy, you could do a class virtually through eHome. The eHome class, you take it from your smartphone, from your computer. We're trying to get information out to people in a variety of ways so they can understand what it means to own a home. Because you know that's the first step toward wealth building.
No question about it. So how do you get hooked up with the E-program? Do you have to come into your office?
No, you can go onto our website at www.nhsnola.org. We partner with Delisha Boyd. So if a lot of people know Delisha, our link is on her site. We have partnerships with the Finance Authority of New Orleans. So you can get the eHome link anywhere on those websites and just get right on there and jump in. If you like the one-on-one and being able to interact with speakers, then come to the class.
Yeah, that would be me.
Right.
that would be me. I like the
questions in real time. Either way, you do end up with a accredited counselor, HUD certified, that makes sure that you understand what you learned online. So you don't just take the class and get a certificate and off you go. You come in or you meet virtually with your counselor to make sure that you understand what you saw, and we go from there. So we also offer credit counseling. So for anyone, it doesn't matter if you're a homeowner, not a homeowner, renter, if you have credit challenges, whatever they are, stop today and call us.
So you do that one-on-one in person.
One-on-one
not
in
online.
person. But if you needed me to have a FaceTime interview with you, we can do that.
We're talking about
if
smartphone,
iPad, FaceTime, Skype, get a meeting, whatever that is. We can do that one-on-one with you wherever you are. Some people work multiple jobs, and we understand that.
That's true, yeah.
So maybe if you have a 30-minute lunch break, then you can pull up your phone and you can see one of our counselors right online. We pull the credit reports, we go over everything with you, and we create a plan. We see a lot of student loan debt. We see a lot of credit card debt. And even if you're not going to buy a home, you want to get a car, or you want to buy some big item.
So even though your neighborhood housing services, if I'm just interested in purchasing a car, I'm not interested in buying a house or finding someplace to live, you'll help me with the car?
We'll help you with the credit. Because what we don't want you to do is get into an interest rate that is astronomical. Right? We want you to get into something that you can afford. So that's across the board. Home ownership, house, car, whatever that means, even with your kids' education. We want to make sure that you have the credit that you need, that you're stable financially to do whatever it is you want to do in life. So a lot of people have always thought of us as first-time home buyer, but it's so much more, right?
Exactly.
So that's one of the other things. A third thing that we do is construction management. In New Orleans, with a lot of aging housing stock, or with people who are older that own their homes, or not older, they've owned their homes over 10 years, and they now want to add on or do a renovation. What we learned post-Katrina is that a lot of contractors came in, a lot of people paid money for things that never came into fruition.
We saw a lot of that during the post-Katrina period.
And we continue to see it. So NHS offers construction management. We can create a scope of work. We can work with you on what do you want, and we can help you select a contractor. We can stop there, or you could say, Amy, we want you all to manage the whole process. So that means we manage the process, we understand what the contractor is supposed to do, we make sure that we pay them once the work is done. So that is very helpful.
So how much is this going to cost me if I'm asking you to manage this construction project?
It usually costs about
for me?
6%. 6% of what the renovation is, which is, really fair. And if someone is on a fixed income or low income, we always take that into account. But generally about 6% to manage it from beginning to end, and that's really good. We want people to get a quality product, and we want them to get what they paid for. So that's another part of NHS that a lot of people don't know about. And we've seen people who just want to do a simple add-on or close in a garage, and it turns into the project nightmare, right? Contractors will tell them, well, you need this or need that, and maybe you didn't need all those additional things. So we want to make sure that people are safeguarded.
So if I own a home and I just want to add on a garage, you'd help me with that?
Sure. We'd help you draw up the plan of what you wanted in the garage. We'd help you identify licensed and bonded contractors, maybe some that you know, maybe some that we know, identify, get the scope of work written up, and then proceed according to what you want.
Suppose I just wanted to add on a bathroom.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Or renovate a bathroom.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing. We also have an Aging in Place program that we do with the Greater New Orleans Foundation. Each year we get a small grant that we go out to help people who need renovations, mostly seniors or wheelchair-bound individuals. We do ramps, we do bars in bathrooms, we lower countertops. And I say we manage the construction of that. We identify contractors, sometimes volunteer labor, because it's specialized labor. And we manage that process, and we're able to help a lot of mostly low-income families with those kind of renovations. A lot more people are aging in place.
Now, 2 questions about that.
Sure.
When you talk about aging in place, what are the qualifications?
Well, aging in place means that you are a senior, and instead of going to a nursing home, instead of going into assisted living or independent living, all of which are fine, all of which are great options, but you want to stay in your home longer. But maybe you need the door widened because now you're wheelchair bound.
Right.
Maybe you need rails in the bathroom so that you don't slip and fall. Maybe you need a ramp out front so that you can get into your home. So we provide rehab services that help make it easier for you to live in your home as long as you want to live.
Okay, so do you have homes available for sale?
We have homes available for sale right now. In fact, I think we have a picture of one.
Oh.
It's there it is.
Oh, wow.
1439 St. Anthony Street. And this is one of the new homes that we've built that has off-street parking. So you're looking at a parking pad there. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. It's on the market right now. It's being listed by Delisha Boyd. I know you know Delisha.
Yeah, I know. She's been on this program.
She's an affordable housing advocate along with us. And that house is there. And there's some subsidy right now out in the city. So the city has some soft second money out. Again, NHS can help you through the whole process.
So if it's not too impolite, how much would a house like that cost?
So this house is listed right now at $219,000. Which is a good price point in this market. I think the house across the street may sold for $259,000 and a little higher. This St. Claude, that area over there is really hot.
Yeah.
We try to keep it affordable, and we often have access to down payment and closing cost assistance. Any subsidies that are out there, we can help you identify the subsidies that are available to help you get into
So
a
what
home.
kind of requirements would I have to meet to be able to access this property?
So anyone can buy the property as long as you're going to live in it. Okay, investors, I'm talking to you. We're not interested in people buying the homes and then flipping homes. We want to provide homes that people can live in, right? So anyone can call up to NHS or go through our realtor, our broker, Delisha Boyd, and put an offer in. What we will do is take you through our program. So again, pulling a credit score, getting you into home buyer education if this is your first home, going over your credit, finding out what your profile is, and then helping link you with lenders that have the products that you need based on your profile. So it all has to do with how much income you have, how much debt you have, how many people in the household, how many incomes are in the household. We look at all of that and then try to find the best mortgage product with you by working with lenders that understand.
For somebody listening who might be interested in what are the parameters for my, the income eligibility. So how much money do I have to make to be able to qualify, or when am I no longer eligible to qualify because I make too much money?
Well, if it is regarding city subsidies, so if the city of New Orleans, for instance, has soft second money out, right? There usually are some income restrictions on that product. So it could go anywhere from 80% to 120% of area median income, right? Don't let that distract you or discourage you. I would say get in the door, call us, let's see where you are. Because if you're a veteran, there may be some things available to you.
I got you.
You see, it depends on what your financial circumstance, your household circumstance is. So get in, let's look at it, and let's see what's out there. It might not be that subsidy, but it could be some down payment assistance that another organization is offering with different parameters.
You talked about the houses that you had for sale. What about upcoming developments?
So we have a new development, and I want to come back on the show to talk to you about it once we break ground.
All right. You're doing well so far.
On Ferret Street, we are doing a redevelopment of the big building we have there. So what you're looking at is 4528 Ferret Street.
Okay.
That was our original building. So to the left of that is a new condo project. So I'm going to open up my binder because as much as I remember, there are things I don't remember. In the new development, there will be 20 condos, 10 apartments, and 5 office spaces. We are committed to affordability, so a certain percentage of those will be affordable. We hope that the rental pieces can be used to help people get on a pathway to home ownership. To your point earlier, not everyone wants to buy now.
Right.
Though I encourage people, if you don't own, you should own at some point. And if you're not ready today, let's get you on a pathway to do that. And then the office spaces will include community organizations and other organizations that support the work that we do in community development, whatever that might be.
I'm glad you are encouraging people to buy, because as we all know, owning property is the basic step to accessing or building wealth.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It is the best way to think about long-term goals, right? If you own a home, you're paying your mortgage, over time you build equity. In some New Orleans neighborhoods, you may go in at a house now and in 2 or 3 years, you've got over $50,000 in equity because of the market right now. That means with that equity, you can do things like fund your child's education. You can start thinking about how you want to build your own retirement. If you're in the service industry, you may not be a part of a retirement plan. But then you can start thinking about how do I fund my own IRA, my personal retirement account, so that when I'm done, like, everybody's not retired like you yet. But when you do retire, you're like, I've got a nest egg that I can depend on to help me sustain my quality of life. So we want folks to own.
Amy Batiste, Executive Director for Neighborhood Housing Services. You have been a delightful.
Thank you.
You have been a fountain of information.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we'd be glad to have you back.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Right after this break, we'll take an extensive look at the community development happening in St. Bernard Parish. You don't want to miss this. You are watching Affordable Housing Matters on WLAE.
Hi, I'm Eric Asher, host of Inside New Orleans Sports. Join me every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. for a live broadcast of Inside New Orleans Sports, featuring a reporters roundtable with local media members that cover the Saints, Pelicans, LSU, Tulane, and prep sports. Don't forget your calls are always welcome. That's Inside New Orleans Sports, Thursdays 6 to 7 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Fridays 10 to 11 p.m. on WLAE-TV.
You know, over a decade after Hurricane Katrina devastated St. Bernard Parish with floodwaters, the parish has moved out of recovery mode now and is into full-on redevelopment. And here to tell us all about this redevelopment and the new housing programs in St. Bernard Parish is Jason Stopa, who is Director of Community Development for the parish of St. Bernard. And Mr. Stopa, welcome to Affordable Housing Matters.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. You've got a pretty exciting sounding program that kicked off in 2015, as I understand?
It did in 2015. In the department, we were looking at housing comprehensively. So we had a comprehensive plan in 2014 that came out, and the main thing that it pushed in the housing section was we wanted to create a competitive housing product that would compete regionally. So when people looked at moving to Gentilly or Mid-City, they would also think of St. Bernard. And at that time, the housing that we had were a lot of renovations that were happening. Very few new construction projects were going on unless it was for the person building it for themselves. Yeah, and
people were wondering what was going to happen because you had all this vacant property sitting there, all this vacant land.
We did. At that time, we still had about 1,000 road home properties, and we had about 300 to 400 properties clustered in the northern section of Araby. So we had a section with a lot of demolition, and we had properties that were available. So up until that point, we were auctioning properties, and then we decided to implement a full-on redevelopment plan, which essentially was two programs. One, it was Builder Bundle, and a Buy and Build.
So tell us about Builder Bundle first, and then talk about Buy and Build.
So Builder Bundle was our program to create that regionally competitive product.
Okay.
We looked at it and said, what do people want around the region? And what they wanted, in our opinion, was a traditional looking home.
Okay.
So what we wanted to build were houses that were elevated 3 feet, 10-foot ceilings, wood floors, really nice bathrooms, open floor plan, right? Porches. So we had this vision and we put it out to builders, and a couple builders showed up, and one builder showed up and bought 2 bundles of 12 properties, and he had the same exact vision as us. So it was a good partnership in the beginning, and it still is, and he started building houses. He started building 12 houses, and from then, we now have 7 builders in the program, and we have about 120 lots that will be developed over the next 5 to 7 years.
Wow! And how did you come to this idea? What was it that compelled you to work this particular program?
Well, we thought that St. Bernard as a place to live was a competitive place to live. It had a lot of great things going on and quality of life that we were improving. The housing stock we just didn't think was there. So when we looked at other places that were successful in the area, we saw that style of house was very competitive. We also, the location was great because Araby is right next to the city of New Orleans.
Sure.
It's 12 minutes from Araby to downtown. So St. Bernard was a bedroom community. We wanted to bring that back, and we thought that this would be successful.
I know that over the course of years post Katrina, immediately afterwards, the parish lost about 60,000 people, and a lot of them moved to the North Shore. So I guess trying to repopulate the parish was top of mind for the officials in St. Bernard. But at the same time, there was the issue of pricing. So how did that factor into your decision?
So for affordable housing and pricing, we had a lot of property that was extremely affordable in St. Bernard. Resale property, $80 a square foot, $90 a square foot. So what we looked at is a housing mix, and you hear this talked about. And we had post-Katrina up until 2015, we had multifamily units, 2-family units, affordable renovations. So what we wanted to do is put out a product that still provided a tremendous amount of value. So these homes that we're building, we thought could attract people, start redevelopment, market-based, for around $250,000 to $300,000. That was our price point.
Okay.
And that's where we were moving in that direction to bring people back. We looked at people to attract people that moved to the North Shore. We're also looking at people that are new to the city. We had success with people that are moving in from different parts of the country. What has happened with our development in the past 2 years is that we've developed over 30 houses through our program, but from every house that we develop, about 5 other houses, new construction, has been produced. So what we're seeing, is that those homes are filling a need too, because typically they're about $200,000 to $250,000, and that's throughout the parish. It's not only Araby, but it's Araby, Chalmette, and Miro. And a lot of the builders went through our buy and build program to purchase properties that we had available, road home properties. And the price point is a little bit lower typically than our builder bundle program, but we're really serving a large group of people that can come and move back or move to St. Bernard Parish.
So you're really living up to the name of your campaign, which is Sold on St. Bernard. So you're seeing an influx of people from not only just regionally, but from out of the state?
Out of the state. We've had tremendous amount of success with people from out of the state. People look at where we are located. Like I said, we're 12 minutes from the city. They may have moved from a city that had an hour commute. It's such a short commute. They work downtown. We really want to target people. When we talk about Sold on St. Bernard, that's our marketing program. We're targeting people that work downtown, really. So anybody that works downtown, we're saying you should think about St. Bernard and Araby in terms of when you're looking at buying a house.
We were talking earlier before we began this interview, and we were talking about the tremendous surge in the price of housing in New Orleans proper. Is that helping to drive people to your area?
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, you can buy a house right now. It's on the market. It's a Sold on St. Bernard house for $275,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, wood floors, 10-foot ceilings, quartz countertops. Extremely nice house. And that same house in another area of the city may be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more expensive. So we're definitely providing a value in Araby.
So how does one contact you if they're interested?
The best way to contact us if you're looking to buy is to go on soldonstbernard.com. We have a website that talks about life in St. Bernard, but it also connects you to realtors. It connects you to the builders. There's a map of all the properties. The properties have statuses, whether they've been sold or under construction. So we really want everybody to go directly to the website, and that's where we're able to tell the story of St. Bernard too. So if you don't know much about St. Bernard, you can also learn more there.
What about people who are concerned about what happened the last time, prior to Katrina, and then the high water, the flooding issue? Is flood insurance an issue?
It actually isn't. I'm actually the floodplain manager too
Are you?
at St. Bernard Parish. Yes. So
I'm lucky to have you here as well to talk about flooding.
So with the certified levees, we sometimes call it the Great Wall of St. Bernard, right?
Yes,
the wall out there. It really changed. So our maps were adopted in 2017. We have new maps. So many areas that were special flood hazard areas are no longer special flood hazard areas. So the houses that you're seeing, it's possible that they're not even in a flood zone. They're in an ex-flood zone, which makes flood insurance very affordable. It's typically around $400 if you're not in the special flood hazard area. The interesting thing that we did back there too is we acknowledged that the history of Hurricane Katrina, and what we wanted to do was we created a resilience district back in the area. So what
does that mean?
So resilience district, we wanted to look at potential mitigation issues that could have come from flooding. So regardless of whether or not you're in the flood zone or not in the flood zone in the area, you have to be elevated, all homes, 3 feet above grade.
Oh, really?
So yes, so it's a higher standard than even FEMA's standard. So you can see that house there, it's elevated with flood vents. We also have other things that we issue, like trees. Trees provide a way to catch water and prevent water going into the storm drain. So every house that's built has to have a shade tree. The other thing that we're doing in the zone is expanding an actual public works project that we could talk more about, but
we can talk about it now.
Oh, we could. Yeah, okay.
What is the public works project?
Well, the public works project is basically we're attempting to create a large retention pond in a park and extending a park area. So what we do is we're trying to improve quality of life. And we also have a water management plan that Wagner and Ball produced, and it's been adopted in St. Bernard Parish. So we're thinking about these issues of flooding.
Well, yeah, as a homeowner,
Yes.
you would be encouraged by things like that. You would be, I guess, that would build confidence that, you know, if you had any areas of concern about flooding, to know that you have this water management issue taking place or project taking place, you know, that would give a homeowner some sense of security.
That's right. We're working towards that with elevation and with projects.
Yeah. So this pricing, speculative pricing issue or opportunity that exists there, what does that mean in terms of me as a potential home buyer?
You as a potential home buyer, if you buy now, you're going to have a tremendous value. And like we see in New Orleans with prices going up, I think the prices will go up. So I think it's a good time to buy now, but there's always a good range of housing opportunities in St. Bernard. I think that St. Bernard will be an affordable place to live for the next 10, 20 years. I don't see it not being that way. And I think that depending on what you can afford, there's opportunities there.
And what is the internet address or web page address again?
SoldOnStBernard.com.
SoldOnStBernard.com, and all I've got to do is go to that particular address and that web page address, and I can find out everything I need to know about Sold on St. Bernard.
You can. And coming up this spring, we advertise a lot. So you'll start seeing billboards, radio ads, print advertising, and that will also help to remind you of what we're doing, because we really wanted to help out our builders, help out everybody that's pushing the redevelopment and driving everybody to that website.
So you started with one builder, right?
Right.
And so it just took off from there.
It did. I mean, I think he proved the success. You know, at the time, it wasn't clear how much the price of the homes would sell for, price per square foot. It was all market rate. And once he proved that it worked, other people that were on the fence decided to join in. So we went from 1 to 5 to now 7.
Wow. Well, Jason Stopa, Director of Community Development for St. Bernard Parish and pushing houses for sale in St. Bernard Parish, Sold on St. Bernard. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you. We will return with more affordable housing matters right after this break, so don't go far.
You're watching WLAE, New Orleans Public Television. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
We would again like to thank both of our guests for joining us this evening. And if you would like to rewatch this or any other past episodes of Affordable Housing Matters, please go to WLAE.com and click on the programming link. There you can find this and all past episodes of this program. We would like to thank you again for joining us this evening. I'm Norman Robinson. Have a good night.